Robinson, and this is a study that I did for my dissertation, and it's on the peer effect on nutrition and physical education on college students. These were freshman students that was admitted into our university, and the study was over 2 semesters, the fall semester, which is their first semester, and the second semester, which was the spring semester. I had 203 students that participated. This was very difficult to do, and I had about 8 peer mentors that actually helped because it's peer-to-peer education. So the peer mentors were actually nursing students that were in my nursing class that actually they were so interested in my studies that they wanted to help. So they helped by helping to educate their peers, which were freshman students, on how to eat healthy and how to make sure that their physical activity was also on the healthy side. Now we know that for African Americans that we have a lot of diseases that has to do with obesity because of the food we eat, and also hypertension and stroke, because stroke is happening in our ethnicity higher than any other group, and when the strokes are happening, it's happening to young people like in their 20s and 30s, and when they happen to them in their 20s and 30s, they actually die, or they become so disabled that they're not able to come home at all. They stay in the hospital. So it's not like when you get stroke in your 60s where you probably get 4 or 5 before you actually, for the young people, it's really severe. So this is the reason why I wanted to do the study, because I realized that there were many students in my nursing class who were in their 20s with very, very high blood pressure, like 150 systolic. I had a student who was like 200 systolic over 130, and they didn't have any symptoms, and they didn't even know they were hypertensive, to the point we had to actually send them to the emergency room. So this was the reason for my study. So 203 students participated, and we wanted to find out whether or not there were any difference in the pre-test, because I did a pre and post-test, and I also looked for individuals' knowledge, attitude, and how they select their foods, especially on campus, when their parents is not looking, when they're on their own, and whether or not they were having any kind of physical activity. Now we look at physical activity as moderate or high level. It doesn't matter, as long as they were doing something within the criteria that we had set for them. So I used the trans-theoretical model of behavior changes, and I went through the entire step, from pre-contemplation to contemplation, contemplation to preparation, the different stages of the trans-theoretical model. And I know you guys know all about that too well. So what happened was positive attitudes. What we found out from this study was that the intervention group and the control group were not significantly different in the beginning. So they were kind of like, similar in which is good. We want them to be similar because the population was similar. The nutrition education program positively influenced the participants' knowledge. So their knowledge was improved. The attitude towards choosing healthy foods were also improved. They were more tolerable to hearing about it. Because you remember now, some of them are 18 and 19. You know what kind of behavior they may have. And whether or not they would engage in physical activity, especially for those who wasn't interested in physical activity. Or some of them wanted to but didn't know how. So it went down to say that it was actually a change. And what happened was that I found out that some students going through the changes, the trans-theoretical model of change, some students did not enter from the pre-contemplation stage. Some students started at the action stage where they already knew about physical activity and nutrition, but they just needed to put it into action. So because of the study, then they put it into action. So that's something new that I found out in the study. I did not realize that I was going to find that. I thought everybody was going to start from this level and go all the way down to the 6 stages, but they didn't. I remember these students are on campus, and you know how difficult it is on campus? Okay. As students became more aware of what kind of food is healthy and that physical activity is actually working, they actually went to the cafeteria and was asking for that. They actually were asking. And diet and exercise are important components of obesity and prevention. They realize that they actually have to do something, that it is within their reach, that if they don't do it, it's not going to happen for them. So they realized that, and that health education motivated and empowered them to do it. So they were able now to go tell somebody else, I'm eating this way because I want to be healthy. So they actually, like if you're a group of them, like the three of you guys going to the cafeteria to eat, Kyan might say, well, I am not eating any fried chicken today. I'm going to eat baked chicken, and you too might incline to change with Kyan and eat baked chicken instead of fried chicken today. Taking this information that I learned here at the opening session about how so many colleges are actually going healthy and how they're taking their university to a healthy standpoint in terms of nutrition on campus. And I'm making sure that the next year, the next APHA conference, that Coppin State University is standing on the podium with the rest of the universities. That is my goal for the whole year.